Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on KCBQ 1170 The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel. I'm your host with Whissel Realty, joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall with Team Home Loans. A couple special guests in studio. We were just talking with Mr. James.Cassady with State Farm Insurance. Again, if you want to learn more about James and his team, give us a call or shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We will get you connected with James. And closing us out today, Mr. Steven Wener with Whissel Realty. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. How are you?
So, how is Carlsbad going to solve the drought?
I don't think they have to worry about the drought with the desalination that they got now. So they're kind of like in their own bubble.
I love it. You did know the answer. I am proud of you, Steve. Yeah. Love it, love it. So the desalination plant is a $1 billion project that they've been working on up in the Carlsbad area for many, many years, is getting close to completion. And this is going to be one of the few projects that's ever finished early. Wow. You ever seen like a city project finish early? That doesn't ever happen.
Wow. No, not unless you have a bunch of smart engineers and people in there. So they must have, Carlsbad must have some smart people there, Kyle.
Definitely. So they're finishing up connecting it from Carlsbad. It's going to connect all the way out to San Marcos. They're talking about this thing can meet the daily needs of up to 300,000 residents in San Diego. So this is huge. I know I've seen a lot of the pictures of the lakes here in, San Diego, and then especially the lakes up in like Folsom and Oroville, and it's pretty depressing.
Empty, man. Yeah, there's shoreline that you never thought there was shoreline for. I mean, it's unbelievable. When I was up at San Vicente earlier this year, Kyle, it was just sad to see. I mean, it's really sad. The whole boat dock that you and I launched our boats at is completely dry. You can't even launch nothing out of there. It's really sad what's gone on. So, we have this huge Pacific Ocean, right? So we got plenty of water. How do we utilize that water? And so that's what they've come up with. Wow.
Yeah, so they're talking they can run 50 million gallons of filtered water per day through this desalination plant.
That's nice.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
Love it. So
that's crazy.
There you go. A little late with that one, Jason.
Yeah, I remember which number.
I was like, come on, where is it? I know we got one for that.
He was premature earlier.
Yes. Yes. I love my brother-in-laws, man. I love them.
Awesome. So, Steve, you do a lot of work in the Carlsbad area, the Oceanside area. What's going on with the real estate market in North County and in San Diego as a whole right now?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's just, North County. All of San Diego is experiencing multiple offers. And what's really interesting, to go back to the water problem, one of our clients that we just got into escrow 2 days ago is an engineer at that plant. So a big shout out to PJ, if you can hear this. There we go, PJ. But it's just tight everywhere. Everybody's fighting for everything right now. So with inventory being down dramatically and prices escalating and people needing a property to get into, it really doesn't matter. I'm finding people are even opening up their parameters right now because there is such a shortage of inventory. So, beggars can't be choosers, and unfortunately that carries over to everything. And if you need a property, sometimes at this particular moment, depending on your life needs, you may expand your search. Maybe you were looking in Carlsbad, Oceanside Vista, and you might push out to San Marcos, Escondido, or the commute may even go further down to Claremont, areas like that, Miramar, Mira Mesa, all those areas, just depending on what you need, where the prices are at, because they're shifting so much that even what you could have got a property for 6 months ago has changed. So
supply and demand is always the key, guys.
Yeah.
So what do you think is causing the shortage of inventory?
It's a great question. I mean, just an escalating price point where we were a few years back from all the short sales and REOs and people getting back in the market, everybody that's able to purchase again in this marketplace with purchasing power, San Diego being a destination location for people. A lot of
rates being super low.
Well, rates super low. A lot of great time, a lot of great things for people to purchase in this market, but all of those perfect things are making a perfect storm where with this shortage of inventory and now with prices escalating as well, not as many people can afford to move up. So I think contractors may even be seeing a surge in renovation work because people are fixing instead of moving. It's just
fixing, adding,
whatever it may be. Just trying to get into a move up from 4 to 6. If you can't afford to do that, you just can't afford to do it. And our average price point is around that $400,000 mark. So there's a very limited amount of the populace that can spend 6, 7, 8, $1 million. And San Diego affords those price points, but again, not everybody can be in that price range.
So what are you doing with what we're seeing is, 4 to 25 offers on every listing, usually within the first weekend.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Steve, to set your client's offer apart? What are some strategies you utilize you want to share?
The cool thing is when this happened a few years back as the market was escalating, one of the biggest things was rapport, developing a rapport with the listing agent. But it was also seasoning the purchaser before we ever got into the battle. And I'll call it a battle because it really is. And you had to set their expectations. So number one was the financing. Number two was understanding all of their life's values and what was super important to them. And once they were qualified through the lender, then we knew they were ready to get into battle. And we have a very, very tight, unique, and great office where we do a lot of volume, and we also create relationships with the agents in San Diego, especially the ones that do volume. So when we're battling to get into that particular property and we're competing against 4, 6, 10, 20 offers, we're trying to see who knows the listing agent. We're trying to set ourselves apart by getting the lender to reach out to the listing agent. We're expressing how much our client wants that property. And we're putting all these pieces together so that when the listing agent looks at us, they're seeing a complete package, not just a piece of paper. When you can relate to anything, you gravitate to what you can relate to. So.
Definitely. You're listening to Steve and Wener here on Whissel Wednesdays. And Steve, you mentioned that it's important to know the listing agent. Why is that important? If I'm writing an offer on a property, why is it important that you know the listing agent?
When you have a relationship with anybody, you know if they're good or they're bad. If you're doing a great job with what you're doing in your marketplace and somebody knows how great of a job you do, then the chance of the escrow closing and having open communication so you're not missing a beat with the other side is critical because you're dealing with so many moving parts. And unfortunately, I've had the pleasure of working with agents that A, really don't know what they're doing, B, underserve their clients, and C, weren't prepared to get into that battle. And everything that they didn't do is harming their client. So when you're working with somebody that you know and they know you and your reputation, they know you by reputation. And that reputation stands tall in a marketplace like this where everybody's fighting on emotion to get a property, and that emotion doesn't always mean logic. So if people are shortchanging themselves just to get the accepted offer, and then all of a sudden the seller is the one that suffers because nothing closed, fell apart, I think it's critical to know who you're working with.
Yeah, and that's one of the neat things working with you guys. The last 3 years, you guys done, 762 transactions?
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah, I know it's somewhere north of 750 transactions in 3 years. That's awesome to the Whissel Realty team. So that's why great agents like yourself, Steve, can really make a difference and put that plan, as we were talking about with James earlier, is having a plan, but like you said, having that battle plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
strategically putting that all together.
It's exactly how I got the offer for PJ accepted. Everything that I did from the lender that he was referred by to everything that went into place once we started dealing with the listing agent to I actually got my client on the phone with the listing agent when she agreed to say yes because she built him up so much because she met him during an open house as well that he went to. And they talked and they were a favorite couple. But through a forward underwrite, meaning they almost had cash in hand, to establishing who they were as a young professional couple, to they want this house, to me building up everything on a professional basis so she knew, the listing agent, that I knew what I was doing. And then once we got into it and they were going to accept it, I got my client on the phone, and she said, congratulations to him.
That's
I'd never
good
done
news.
that before.
Like we were talking about earlier, James, that makes you feel good when you're helping people, right?
100%, but I never got a client on the phone to get the good news with me.
That is nice.
Yeah, it was. And
Congratulations
he was
on that,
stoked.
Steve.
Thank you.
And that's, hey, how do we, Kyle, and I know this is something as a broker, how do you sprinkle some water on Steve and we make like 30 more Steves? And I know Steve's coaching your team and helping your team, and he does that a great job. How can we make 10 more Steves?
If I knew how to do that, I'd be in like Barbados right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't be on the radio, right?
You would be hosting this show and I would be out of here because Steve is awesome. I mean, when you're looking to buy a home in San Diego, you want an agent like Steve who's not just going to be your typical agent and write an offer, submit it, and then just pray that it gets accepted. We call those agents the spray and pray agents because they literally are just spraying offers all over the place for their clients, not doing any of the legwork. and, really getting their clients in the front of the line and actually vetting their clients with the agent who's on the other end of the transaction. And they're just trying to go off quantity. They figure, well, if I submit 100 offers, one of them is going to get accepted. You want somebody who's going to treat every offer they submit like it's the only offer they submit. So again, if you want to connect with Steve at Whissel Realty, does a lot of business, Carlsbad, Oceanside, and in reality, all over the county. Shoot us a text or give us a call, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. Before you, Steve, we were talking with James.Cassady, State Farm Insurance, going over what you need to know. Once you have Steve help you buy that home, James can be that guy that can help you get that home insured, and not just get insured, but get insured right with the right amount of coverage for you and for your family. If you need help on the mortgage side of thing, making sure that you get the right mortgage when you buy that home, let's connect you with Jason Hall over at Team Home Loans, 619-663-7355. Thank you so much for listening to Whissel Wednesdays. Tune in to us every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. And check out our past episodes on WhisselWednesdays.com. WHISSEL Wednesdays.com.
Out.